Hello, Sanford. You are listening to Sanford Sports Radio. My name is Jonathan West, and welcome to The Howler, as it is time to see if the Sanford Coyotes can keep their winning streak going. They haven't lost since week 2, and they've got another MAC conference game this weekend against the Ball State Cardinals. But before we talk about that, let's talk about that recruiting trail. Samuel Wyatt once again still in a 2-team race with Arkansas and Sanford. So we'll keep an eye on that one up until a decision's made for Sam there. Tyrone Justice, it seems to be Sanford is his school of choice. He'll be visiting though this week in this week's matchup against Ball State. So that ought to be interesting to have the young safety come in. Carlos Hunter and Adam Gillette, other names to watch. Carlos Hunter right now, no scholarship offers except from Sanford. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Same thing with Adam Gillette, the young receiver, who just isn't being looked at enough. That is the key component here. He's not a number one in his offense currently in high school, so he's not being looked at as a number one. Personally, I think the kid is a talent that you can't miss on, and you add him to already a dominant wide receiving core, nothing goes wrong there. Now some more guys to look at. John Foster, the guard out of Bowie, Maryland. He'll be coming in this week for a visit as well. He does have another visit though set up for Miami. However, it seems Foster is well up with Sanford running the show with where he would like to attend. So I think Sanford's on the right side of John Foster right now. Kevin Collier, the linebacker out of Port State. Let me get this right. Port State, Lucie, Florida. He's got Sanford on top right now. Same situation going for Mike Carrington out of Houston, Texas. Although this guard will be coming in to Sanford this week for the Ball State game. So a couple of guards coming in. Hopefully at least one of them signs on the dotted line and becomes a Coyote. You know this team needs a lot of help on that offensive line, at least for depth. Other names to keep in mind, outside linebacker Jeffrey Little. A lot of outside linebackers being looked at this year. They want a lot of depth in that linebacking core, and they're going to get it from the looks of things. Little, though, having a fight with Boston College as of right now. Another name to keep in mind, Glenn Preston out of South Farmingdale, New York. Right now, he's in a battle with Nebraska and Sanford. And finally, Rob Cruz, the athlete out of Livermore, California. Right now, he's got Sanford on top, but that could go either way with his schools. Now, there were some recruits that came in and signed on the dotted line, Chad Collings being the big name out of all of them. Collings, a man who is going to take over that power back role, especially after Claude Fleming says goodbye to the Sanford program. So it's nice to get another power back in. He does have a good amount of speed to his name, though, so he can do a little of both. The young man out of Winnipeg, ready to showcase his skills. The Sanford native Armand Hammer, he's ready to really try and prove himself in now a large outside linebacking room. You got a lot of guys that can play that position now here at Sanford. The question is, though, who's going to get that opportunity? It's going to be a dogfight to see who can get a chance at outside linebacker, especially with the Payne brothers also coming in and committing to Sanford this year. And finally, cornerback Wesley Wolf, the young man out of Trenton, New Jersey. It's nice to get more corner depth on this defense, with certain guys getting close to leaving here coming up next season. Wolf will more than likely see a year to sit and learn and then be able to put those skills into play. Now he's more set to be a slot corner, but we'll see exactly how he pans out given a year or two here at Sanford. Maybe he can exceed expectations. Now we take you to the players of the week. Josh Eldridge, the left end out of Central Michigan, and Elijah Cunningham, the quarterback out of Bowling Green, get the honors this week. both having big days in their respective matchups. Even Eldridge in a loss to Toledo. Now will you take it to the conference standings? Sanford still stands on top of the MAC entirely. 4-0 in conference, 2-0 in their division. Bowling Green and Toledo follow suit. Northern Illinois and Miami of Ohio filling out that top 5. Right now, though, it looks like it's really a race for that west side of things. Toledo, Northern Illinois, they could both be up for Bowling Green and Miami chasing Sanford for that east spot. And right now, I think it's going to be tough to take it away from the Coyotes if they continue to succeed as they have. Ball State currently ranked the number 12 team in the MAC. That's who Sanford will face this week. And looks like on paper, rather an easy competition there. We take you to the top 25, and things really haven't moved around a lot here. We do know Sanford has moved their way up on the board up to number 20. But other than that, here in the top 10, there's not a ton of movement. Minnesota did move up to number 9, and Kansas State moved up all the way to 10 from 12. Other than that, it's a lot of really going up from one number situations here, from number 5 all the way down to Minnesota. However, the big moves can be looked at as Oregon falling all the way to 13. Penn State has moved up to 14. And a lot of movement from that area has been made, whether it be just one number or two in the way of Sanford, now at number 20. Alabama fell, though, from 11 to 17, and Auburn falling from 20 to 18, even with their win over Arkansas. So there is a couple of big moves that could really play a part into how this poll shakes up. I will say once again, I think Sanford right now at 20, if they continue this win streak, could be in the top 10 easily, I think, by the end of the season. Games this week in the MAC, it's Ball State at Sanford. Eastern Michigan will head to Western Michigan for that rivalry matchup. Ohio will head to Buffalo. Kent State gets to meet the Bowling Green Falcons in their house. Toledo at Northern Illinois for an interesting Western MAC matchup. Akron at Mid-Tenn State, and Miami of Ohio meets Central Michigan. Now time to talk about the matchup we'll all be looking forward to. Sanford against Ball State. Kirk Herbstreit, of course, having the Coyotes in this one, and not a surprise, as everything but turnover differential points towards the Coyotes in this one. And it's definitely not a surprise. Sanford's a favorite with the starting quarterback Plitt out for 4 weeks for Ball State. So they will have a freshman in at quarterback, a true freshman. And we'll talk more about that here in just a bit. But you can see, folks, Sanford has been running rampant with this win streak. Haven't lost since week 2 when they hosted UConn. And it's been kind of fire, I think, under them to really win as much as they can since that big surprise loss to UConn. 7-1 total this year. They've already looked pretty much poised to get 10 wins in the regular season. We'll see if that can continue. And they have picked things up on defense, which is huge. Of course, Dustin Jordan with 2 interceptions on the year, and Irvin has already matched his career high in sacks at 8. So everything goes up from there on that part of things. Plitt, the quarterback who has looked very good this season, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, not available for Ball State this week. He's had a solid season as his first year starting. 100 of 179, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, as I stated. 55.9% completion percentage. And really, he's kind of been the lifeblood of this offense for the most part. So I don't know what Ball State is looking to really fill that void with. They have a freshman in Lawson coming in to play for them. However, you got to question, can the freshman get the job done that the junior could? Mark Lawson hasn't done well so far in reserve. Only 54 of 120, 4-4 touchdown interception ratio, and of course the disappointing part of it, 45% completion percentage. He hasn't been able to get the job done, I think, as Plitt could, and he's up against I'd say fairly struggling defense compared to last season. But this is still a defense that they can find their footing, can make you pay in Sanford. Now, the offense is probably going to run literally and figuratively through Brandon Martin, the running back for Ball State. He's had a solid year already, 546 yards. He's had 2 touchdowns on the ground, and his longest run has only been 16 yards. So you got to watch Brandon Martin, but a key factor for him is his broken tackles. He's broken 10 this year and has gotten a lot of yardage after first contact. Now in the passing game, you got to look at Ben Landry. He's going to be a big target this year for Ball State, and especially for Lawson, who's got to find a quick, easy target to start with. He has dropped the ball 3 times, but he has 3 touchdowns on the year, so definitely have to look out for him. Gibson will be on him more than likely all day long. Dustin Jordan will. On the defensive side of things, there's Nate Childress, the big defensive tackle. He's got 1.5 sacks so far, but has been around the football with 2 pass deflections, but no forced fumbles. Also on that defensive side is Jacob White, the senior linebacker. We've been talking about middle linebackers all year long, and it's no different here with Ball State, as White has 2.5 sacks on the season, 1 interception, 3 deflections, and a forced fumble. He has been a defensive maestro here this year. So he's commanding that defense with ease, and you can expect to see a lot of him, I'm sure, this week. In that secondary, of this Ball State defense, it's Dion Holman who's leading that charge. He's got 0.5 sack on the year, 1 interception, 2 pass deflections, and a fumble recovery. So he's been around the ball fairly well this year. Not as much as I think Ball State would like, but he's going to be up against the returning Josh Williams, and this is the big key, I think, to Sanford on offense. They're getting their true freshman back. And from all accounts, from what I've heard from Coach Wolf, it sounds like the young man has cleaned up nicely. He's been around the community a lot more. He's been looking like a different player on and off the field ever since the suspension. I'm excited for Josh Williams' return as Sanford looks to go to 6 wins on this winning streak of theirs. We will see you folks this weekend as we're out of time here on the Howler. You've been listening to Sanford Sports Radio. Hello and welcome everyone. You are listening to Sanford Sports Radio. My name is Jonathan West and we are here in the den, and it is time to hashtag defend the den as your Sanford College Coyotes face the Ball State Cardinals in more MAC conference play. Now the Coyotes are riding a 5-game win streak. They haven't lost since week 2, and they're looking to move that number up to 6 this week. They lead the East, and I don't see Ball State taking that lead away from them at all. In the West, there is a big Western matchup in the MAC this week as Toledo faces Northern Illinois. The winner of that will solely host the lead of the Western half of the MAC and could be facing off with these Coyotes come MAC Conference Championship time. So the Coyotes are ready for another big matchup, and I certainly hope you're ready for the return of Josh Williams. The number 1 receiver, the true freshman, has returned to the team. He will be playing today, and from all accounts, the coaches say it is a new man on and off the field. So it's going to be fun to watch number 10 get back into action and see if he can really step back into where he was when he got suspended. As we're underway here, Patrick Jackson to return, And there are some good blocks laid out in front for him. He's already up to the 40, past the 45, out at the 48-yard line. Great starting field position as Sanford begins nearly already into Ball State territory. First and 10, handoff goes to Claude Fleming to begin things, and that's going to be a solid 9-yard gain to start out. We're going to see a lot on the ground, I am certain of that, as this is the really bread and butter of this offense. Under center in the I form, it's a handoff to Fleming, and that'll be a gain of 3, enough for a new set of downs. This Sanford offense looks to do some damage early as they go play action here, and that's into the hands of Dion Holman. The number 1 corner here for Ball State gets his hands on one early. The first pass of the day intended for number 10, Josh Williams, the true freshman, returning to play. And right into the hands of Dion Holman. We'll give it to now the freshman quarterback, Mark Lawson. He'll hook up with Danny Pinter here on a 3-yard connection. Second and 7, Lawson under center in the I form. He's going to drop back and throw, and that one's just going to sail out of bounds. Gibson on coverage there, as now we'll see what this offense can do if this defense can get going. Third and 7 as the lefty drops back. Lawson looks to the sideline, but Gibson in good coverage makes sure that isn't a reception on the sideline. Solid field position once again for Sanford's offense, but Fleming can't go far. A gain of a 1 on that one. Romero Wade, the man that brought him down. Second and 9, play action here for Sanford, and Patrick's going to roll out. He's going to run out of time, though. He's brought down as that's James Jeanette II with a big sack on Patrick. Tanner Patrick is, my wording is all over the place today. Third and 9 as Tanner Patrick takes his snap from the shotgun and once again meets the hand of Dion Holman. I'm not sure exactly what the issue is. There was some pressure barreling down on Patrick on this one, but I'm not sure if he's just forgotten what jersey to throw to at this point, but this is the first time we've seen him have this many problems early on this season. First and 10 now for Lawson as he completes it to Danny Pinter over the middle. That's going to be a 10-yard gain, but he will be short of the first down marker. Second and inches. Well, now it's going to be 2nd and 5 as that false start's going to bring Ball State back now. Sanford looking at a much better situation for their defense as Lawson in the shotgun here. And in motion is Pinter as Lawson takes the snap. He throws over the middle, and that is a reception for Gaddis. A 4-yard reception, but it's going to be 2 yards short. 3rd and 2 coming up here as the no huddle begins again. Lawson takes the snap, and he can't connect as a phenomenal deflection by Dustin Jordan. Looks like the offense, though, for Ball State stays on the field. This ought to be interesting. The pitch goes out to Brandon Martin, and he does find enough yardage. 4 yards for the first down. Ball State's drive will continue here. First and 10. Offset there under center was Lawson as he's able to find Cooper, the back, out of the backfield, and that's going to be a gain of 8 for Ryan Cooper. Second and 2 coming up as they are now about to get into the red zone. Our Ball State, as that is a big run by Brandon Martin, 12 yards and into the red zone. Deep into the red zone now are the Cardinals. First and goal as the no huddle continues. Lawson out of the I form connects with Brandon Martin, and he powers his way into the end zone. 8-yard touchdown run, and that's going to give Ball State their first lead of the day, and they strike first. As we'll take you to an update at Western Michigan in 7-3 early here as the Broncos are up early in the second quarter. First and 10 now here back in our game. Sanford goes with the jet sweep here to Josh Williams. Nice to see them try and get the ball in his hands here. A 5-yard gain as that'll set them up for 2nd and 5 out of the pistol. And they'll go to the option. As that's Patrick finding room to run, and he'll gain 19. Right past midfield, putting them already back into Cardinal territory. This is where this team finds their best offense, really, is on the ground utilizing Patrick's speed. We'll see if that continues here later on in this matchup as Jennings with a screen here going his way. And that will be only a gain of 3 as he's brought down. 2nd and 7 under center is Tanner Patrick. He'll hand off to Fleming, who gets a nice block up front, and that's going to be a gain of 7. It looked like at first he was going to lose yardage. Luckily, a good block leads him up. As Tyrone Jennings with a gain of 8 on a new set of downs, as he's able to find a good amount of yardage on another carry for him. And he gets a block there to the outside here on 2nd down. That's going to be a gain of 4, enough for the first, as Sanford's finding a way to drive here. Patrick dropping back, 1st and 10. He connects with Thomas, and that's a touchdown, Sanford. 28-yard connection to Rob Thomas as he just breaks the plane. And that is a huge, huge play to get some momentum going the Coyotes' way. As that was a wide open Rob Thomas over the middle, and he's able to cut upfield and get just over the plane after that big hit. 1st and 10 now for Ball State as they go the way of Brandon Martin. Looks like they're going to try and bruise up this Sanford defense a bit. 2nd and 6 as the no huddle continues. Lawson making a change at the line, and he'll drop back. Delayed handoff goes to Brandon Martin. He is bottled up, though, after a gain of 3. It will set up, though, 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 3 under center's Lawson. Quick snap goes to Cooper, and the fullback gets the 6-yard gain and enough for the 1st down. As Lawson drops back here on a new set of downs, he's going to connect with Danny Pinter. The big tight end gains 3 yards as it'll set him up for a 2nd and 7. The no huddle continues as Pinter still has to get in his spot. Finally does as Lawson to throw and just chucks it out of bounds to end this first quarter of play. We're all tied up here at the end of 1, and it has been really anybody's ball game. Just mistakes can't be made on Sanford's side. You're listening to Sanford Sports Radio. We'll be back with more after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Sanford Sports Radio. It's the beginning of the 2nd quarter of play as Lawson drops back for Ball State and connects with Danny Pinter as tight end. It's a gain of 13 and enough for the 1st down as Ball State starts off on a good note. 1st and 10, but this is going to turn into 1st and 15 quick. Cardinals going to move themselves back with another false start penalty. They have not looked disciplined on that offensive line. Now back in that I form as the 1st and 15 goes to a handoff for Brandon Marshall, and he'll get him back to the original line of scrimmage. That'll make it 2nd and 10. Under center's Lawson, man in motion's Danny Pinter. And another quick throwaway from Mark Lawson. I guess he was feeling pressure early on from the inside. That's going to force 3rd and long here now. As Lawson, there's a lot of pressure as Deshaun Hollis comes in and grabs himself a sack on the year. As he has had a very good year of getting to the quarterback. A lot better than I think most people anticipated. Joe Irving may have hit his best, but I think really Hollis has a chance to hit his as well. As the Sanford offense goes back to work, and Patrick tried the play action, and it just didn't work out as he's going to lose a yard on that one. Nate Childress, the big defensive tackle for Ball State, able to come up with this sack. And you can call that a coverage sack, as really Patrick had all the time in the world to find somebody downfield and just couldn't do it. 2nd and 11. Handoff goes to Fleming, and Claude Fleming finds plenty of room up the middle. Some nice blocking up front gives him enough of a hole to get 12 yards, and a new set of downs here for Sanford. As another new set of downs goes the other way as it's intercepted by Ball State. And Anderson's not going to be stopped, as that's a pick 6. And Sanford not looking good here early. Lamar Anderson takes it all the way back, as it was intended for Tyrone Jennings in the flats, and that was easily read by Ball State, taking all the way back, giving them back their lead. 14-7 after the pick 6 is Arthur Clancy to try and make a play, and he's got room after a block. Upfield, 40, 30, 20, no one's going to catch him. 10-5, touchdown, Sanford. You can call that one 91 yards back to the house, as that is the perfect way to answer a pick 6. And Arthur Clancy kickoff return. As Clancy with a beautiful run there, as he's able to get one block that really freed him. And he just outruns the rest of the Ball State special teams unit. And I mean, that's the easiest way to get it done. 1st and 10 now here for Ball State as they're back on offense. As Lawson able to connect with Riley Miller first time today. That'll be an 11-yard gain and enough for a first down. Cardinals start their no-huddle offense again here as Pint to the man in motion. Lawson drops back in the lefty, going deep downfield, and he connects with Riley Miller again. This one's for 36 as he got behind Flash Gibson. 1st and 10 once again. No huddle continues here. Pint to the man in motion. Are they going for the same play? No, it's play action. And Lawson's just going to check it down to Cooper. That'll be a 3-yard gain as he's out of bounds. 2nd and 7. They now go to their pure I form. And that's going to be a handoff to Brandon Martin, who just shrugs away a would-be defender and runs right over, I believe that's Pat Riley. Big first down at the 11. Handoff once again goes to Martin, and he'll spin his way up for a gain of 3 this time. Not going to use that pure power we just saw. It'll still be a solid gain to move them forward a bit. However, that gain's going to be 4 not, as they're going to move backwards now and make it 2nd and 12. As this is the last thing the Ball State needed, this Sanford defense, maybe with a little breathing room on defense. 2nd and 12 handoff went to Lamar Summers. That's a gain of 4, and that's going to set them 3rd and 8. They can still get a first down at the 1-yard line. 3rd and 8 handoff goes to Summers on the draw, and he's going to fall short about a yard or 2 down after a 6-yard gain. Hollis going to be ecstatic about that one, as he's the one that brought him down. 4th and 2 with the surefire field goal, but it's short. I don't know if someone got a hand on it or what happened. It was a mess up by Ball State, that's for sure, as that one falls short and a little to the left. As back to the ground game goes this Sanford offense, and the bread and butter works to perfection. A 14-yard gain there for Claude Fleming, as this has been a very nice game for him today. They'll go right back to it on the new set of downs. A gain of 5 here on this one. Already 76 on the ground. 2nd and 5. The handoff goes to Jennings, but he's not going anywhere. He dropped 2 yards behind the line by Chris Crum. 3rd and 7 now as Patrick looks to throw. He'll find Patrick Jackson this time. 3-yard gain, as he hasn't been able to connect with him like he has that one game. And if they can't get that connection's not going to get going. And it's not going to bring that typical speed power to the offense, as here on 1st and 10, Martin can't get away from Deshaun Hollis. That'll only be a gain of 1 as he just crosses the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 9 now in the shotgun. Lawson takes the snap. As the freshman connects with Pinter, there was a lot of pressure coming in. He's lucky he got that one off in time. As 3rd and 4, more pressure came in, and that forces Lawson to just chuck that one away. Deshaun Hollis once again coming through. A minute and a half remains as a screen set up, and it does not work. Loss of 3 there for Fleming, as he's going to fall back and really just force Sanford into a situation they don't want to be in. It may only be 2nd down, but you're looking at a 2nd and 13 with a minute 20 left, and you want to get some points on the board. Less than a minute here to go as Patrick to throw. He hooks up with Tremaine Dingle. He keeps one toe in bounds. It's going to be a 10-yard gain. Now it's 3rd and manageable. As it's play action on 3rd and 3, Patrick taking off. He's going to run for it, and he'll take the yardage. A 12-yard gain as Sanford takes their first time out of the half. 42 seconds remain here, and they are in Ball State territory. A quick throw there. That finally is Josh Williams. 15-yard connection to the returning freshman. And that is exactly what he's good at, getting open quick and shooting upfield. A big gain of 15. 1st and 10 as they are in field goal range. Jackson Stone can hit one from here as a 2-yard gain there, just puts him closer. 2nd and 8 as Patrick looks to throw. Over the middle. A big connection with Tremaine Dingle, 18 yards. They're in striking distance for a touchdown, folks. Out of the full house, Patrick to throw. He's rolling out. He's just going to take it. He goes down to about the 1. I thought he crossed the plane. And it looks like time's going to run short as they've got no timeouts. We'll head into halftime, still tied up 14-all as you're listening to Sanford Sports Radio. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Sanford Sports Radio. It's the 2nd half of play here in Sanford. Mark Lawson for Ball State takes the snap, and he'll find Danny Pinter. Gain of 5 on that one as this defense has to shore up here. 2nd and 5, man in motion. Pinter again. As Lawson goes play action, the lefty looking for his man, has time and finds an open Pinter, and that's right off his hands. All Pinter on that one, and Sanford's lucky for it. 3rd and 5 now as under center is Lawson. He'll go delayed handoff to Martin, and he's got room, and he'll find enough for the 1st down. Sanford's defense just couldn't get to him quick enough. 1st and 10, man in motion. Pinter once again. Lawson takes the snap out of gun and tried to connect, I believe, with Brandon Marshall, but it bounces off Pinter, and that's a big mistake for this offense. Sanford gets away with another lucky chance mistake. As though on 2nd down, it's a 7-yard gain. Brandon Martin with a 7-yard gain. And they'll go right back to work here on 3rd down. And Martin, the power back, with a gain of 4. They keep running Martin, and it looks like it's going to be the bread and butter for really Ball State's offense now. They go back to Martin again here on 1st down, but Daniel Clemens, the backup safety, comes down to make the play. We don't call his name often, but he makes plays when needed. 2nd and 10, handoff went back to Martin, but guess who's there? James Bryant. The outside linebacker makes the play this time around. 3rd and 11 here is out of the gun. Lawson takes the snap. He connects with Summers, but Lamar Summers was surrounded by blue jerseys. It was literally a scene, as there were 3 different men there. I believe you had Gabriel Connor. Believe I saw possibly Hollis. No, I'm sorry, that was Kellen Herron and Lewis McMahon all there. As 1st and 10, it's back to Claude Fleming for Sanford's rushing attack. An 11-yard gain as this offense has now surpassed 100 yards on the day. They go back to the ground on 1st down once again, and this time it's Antoine Bradford, but he can't get anything this time. 2nd and 20, Patrick. Play action here. He'll hook up with Bradford this time around, and off the play action, he'll gain 4 yards. Will set up a more manageable 3rd, but still not exactly where they want to be. 3rd and 6, Patrick out of the gun. He'll connect with Tyrone Jennings over the middle. Barely gets it, but it's enough for the 1st down. First and 10, here is Patrick, play action, and he's lucky they bit. He's going to take off and run for it, and he's got green grass. Big 1st down for Patrick, 21 yards, and that is where he excels. When he needs to make something happen on his own, he needs to improvise. That is the key right there, folks. 1st and 10, Patrick back to the ground they go. And Fleming with a nice 6-yard gain. Claude Fleming has seen a big workload today. It's worked out. 10 carries for 7 yards per carry. You can do the math on that one as Patrick takes off on the option here on 2nd and 4. He'll gain 7 of his own. 1st and 10 out of the full house. They want that slant pattern again. Patrick throws it, but right into the hands of Jacob White, the middle linebacker, who already had a couple pass deflections this year, picks off Sanford again. It is a 4-interception game. We're not used to seeing this. We're just not used to seeing this out of Tanner Patrick this year. He's had a much better year when it comes to those picks. I just don't understand is Brandon Martin now pulls off 13 yards here for Ball State as they're now feeling some momentum. Another new set of downs and another big run from Martin. 11 yards on this one as he's nearly at the 100-yard mark. 1st and 10 out of the I form. It's Martin again. This time he's pushed back and bottled up. It's a loss of 1 here as the defense was all over him. 2nd and 11, the no huddle continues. Riley Miller, the man in motion. Lawson, the lefty, connects with Cooper, but he can't hold on. That one will fall incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and long. Under center is Mark Lawson. He's got a 3rd and 11 situation. Can he connect? No, he can't. Off the mark for his intended target. I believe that was Ben Landry. 4th and 11 means a punt. Going the way of Patrick Jackson. Can he get a big return here? He's got some blocks in front of him, and he'll get up to midfield on the 22-yard return. 1st and 10 here for Sanford. The 3rd quarter nearly gone. There's 1:40 left to go as a 7-yard gain here from Claude Fleming puts him in a very good situation. 2nd and 3, they go back to the ground. Tyrone Jennings had some blocks in front of him, just a minimal amount, so he'll find 4 yards luckily and get enough for the 1st. 1st and 10 is under a minute left to go. They go wide receiver screen to Rob Thomas, but he lost the football. I didn't think he lost it. I thought he was down. I need to see a replay. Somebody give me one. Thank you. As it looks like he's got it there. He doesn't have it by the time he reaches the ground or by the time we see that ball get picked up, that's for sure. It's a 1st and 10 here now for Ball State as Lawson hands off to Martin. He'll go down for a loss of 2. They got 30 seconds to make something happen. Scott Boyd not going to let it. 2nd and 12 here. Shotgun formation for Lawson. You know they've got to go through the air as the man in motion. Handoff goes to Martin. They're going to settle here for Martin to get the job done. And he takes him up 16 yards. They got one play left in the third. One play, and I'm sorry I'm treating this like this is the end of the game here. It's not. But Lawson throws this time around. Can't connect with his intended target as pressure was flying in. Last play of the third quarter here, folks, with a second left on the clock. Handoff goes to Lamar Summers. He's bottled up James Bryant. It'll be a gain of 3, though. And we'll go to the end of the third quarter, still bottled up. And it's all because of Sanford mistakes. They got to clean it up here in the final quarter of play. You're listening to Sanford Sports Radio. It's still 14-14. The final quarter of play comes up just after this. Welcome back, everyone, to the final quarter of play here in Sanford. It is the fourth quarter. It's Ben Landry grabs one. His first of the day. It's going to be a 7-yard reception, and they'll give him just enough for the first. I think that was a little favorable spot. As a screen here. Oh my God, Ball State, you messed up finally. Dustin Jordan speeds to the house. It was a screen set up by Ball State, and this time Dustin Jordan making sure their screen doesn't work out. Neither team can apparently get anything good off a screen. A fumble for Sanford, a pick 6 for Ball State as West Virginia finishes off Kansas State here today, 31-20 in their Big 12 matchup. That's an update for you folks if you were wondering about that one. Here's an update in the MAC play. Ohio wins over Buffalo 38-35, and for your Clemson fans, it's 24-31, Florida State over Clemson. First and 10 here now back in our game. 21-14 your score as Sanford, of course, with that pick 6. Brandon Marshall able to pick up a 9-yard reception here from Mark Lawson. Set him up with 2nd and 1 here. Shotgun formation for the freshman. He'll hand off. No, it's an option as Lawson tries to take off. He can't get there, though. Brought down once again by Daniel Clemens. 3rd and 1 as the no huddle continues. Lawson goes option. Guess who caught him? Lewis McMahon. This man has had a very, very good year. The senior showing off in his last year of play. And a great stop there on Lawson. 1st and goal, handoff goes to Claude Fleming. And he's fighting for every yard there. He'll gain 6. As he was ducking under blocks, he was really fighting off different defenders. Tough 6 yards there. 2nd and 4, they pitch it out to Fleming. He's got room. Powers through one defender. He's got Williams in front of him. Good blocks. Touchdown, Sanford. Make that 45 yards by Claude Fleming. This man just had a huge day. 28-14 your score here. It's a 2-score ball game now that Sanford's gotten a big, big chunk of touchdowns. First the pick 6, then the 45-yarder as Brandon Marshall continues to be the workhorse here in Ball State. 2nd and 4, handoff goes to Brandon Martin. And he's going to get enough for the first down, gain a 6 on that one. As it's another I-form situation, they'll go play action. Lawson looks to throw. And that one nearly taken away. Dustin Jordan had his hands on what could have been another interception. 2nd and 10, still in the I-form are the Cardinals. He'll go back to the ground game with Lamar Summers this time. As it'll be a gain of 6, a manageable 3rd and 4 coming up for Ball State. 3rd and 4, handoff goes to Summers. He's got a hole and he'll find that room. 8-yard gain as Sanford not able to stop him this time around. 1st and 10 in the offset I-form. Handoff goes to Summers. I think everyone saw that one coming. Scott Boyd, though, all over, and it will only be a gain of 2 as Boyd has had a very good freshman year. As under center in the I-form once again is Ball State. They'll pitch it out to Summers, and he is caught real quick. A loss of yard by Pat Riley. The safety comes down to make the play there on Lamar Summers. 3rd and 9. Lawson looks to throw. Can't connect with Ben Landry as it bounces right off his hands. Another miscue by Ball State brings up 4th down, and they're going to keep the offense out. Lawson can't get the throw off before the pressure gets there. Luckily, it falls incomplete as it comes out of his hand. Flash Gibson, though, with some great pressure on the corner blitz. 1st and 10 now for Patrick and company as they go play action, and look who decides to get in the passing game again. Rob Thomas, one play, 48 yards. It's another touchdown, Sanford. That's number 2 on the day for Patrick and Thomas connection. And well, 35-14 sounds pretty good to me. There's only 4 minutes left in the game as it's a 3-score ball game. Lawson to throw. He connects with Gaddis as that's going to be a 17-yard reception. 1st and 10 here as the no huddle continues. Shotgun formation. Man in motion is Pinter as Martin just gets the ball on a draw and he goes nowhere. Gabriel Connor was not fooled. He came right through and the big man took Martin right down. 2nd and 11 now as Lawson in the shotgun. He'll hand off to Martin. Look who it is again. Deshaun Hollis, folks. His run-stuffing ability has just gotten better with time. As Lawson throws again, he connects with Landry finally. This one's a gain of 4. They're going to have to bring out the offense on 4th and 8. This could be the game for Ball State right here. Lawson to throw. Short to Summers. He's down. That's Deshaun Hollis again. I can't say enough about Deshaun Hollis. It's Sanford football, and it looks like they're going to do what Sanford does best, keep it on the ground. 8-yard gain here for Claude Fleming. This offense has been lights out here as of late. 2nd and 2. They go flea flicker. They're pulling out magic. And that one's in the hands of Thomas. Just dropped as it's batted out. 3rd and 2 here. Patrick pitches it out to Fleming. He can't find the room. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, luckily, as Jackson Stone. No, it's going to be a pump by Jean-Claude Valley, but he throws it. Little bit of tomfoolery there for the 1st down, and I think, and indeed that is, enough to finish this ball game. Your player of the game this week, 15 carries, 136 yards. You know it's Claude Fleming. He even came away with that big 45-yard touchdown. It's nice to see him have a big day once again. So this Sanford offense did not look clean early. It was mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. 5 total turnovers, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble. That second half happened. It was a totally different team on offense. We saw a lot better plays from Tanner Patrick. We saw a lot better plays on the run game. That defense stepped up in the second half. Of course, the pick 6 by Dustin Jordan. And Deshaun Hollis shining, not only getting a sack today, but destroying just about every run that came his way or he was around. Great play on the defensive side by Hollis. Great play by Rob Thomas and Claude Fleming today. This team played extremely well in that second half, and we need them to play a full game no matter what come the rest of the season. MAC conference play is still going on. As close as the East has been, they're 1 loss away from not being in that conference title game. See you folks next week for more MAC conference play as your final once again. 14-35, Sanford pulls off another big win.